Hello everyone and welcome to your Thursday morning news here on the gaming channel. My name is Jules Gill and I'm joined by the lovely, the effervescent, the ever-charming Ash Millman, aka the Millman and the Gilman. And there is a lot of news to talk about today.
Is there?
Most of it banter.
Most of it banter.
Which is pretty great because today we're going to be talking about EA setting a world record for all the wrong reasons, MPs in the UK trying to disband Parliament but also get a cheeky jab in at the gaming section as they do it, Disney shutting down games development, and NBA 2K20 getting dunked on, son.
Oh, slam dunk. That's a tri-point. Sports. Hit the jingle.
Here's the news delivered in a flash. Time for Jules and time for Ash.
Oh, we're back in the room. Stop falling off the goddamn chair.
It's a real big fall. It's a real big fall.
And pay attention, because we're talking about EA.
That's so delayed.
I know, you're not awake today, are you? Well, today we're talking about EA setting a world record.
Yes.
Now, this is the thing. Have you played Battlefront 2?
Yes, I have actually, yeah.
Did you enjoy the gaming experience? Separate the microtransactions and all the sort of clever.
It's not really my sort of thing.
Absolutely fine. I think that there is a solid game underneath all of that, but unfortunately, it promised so much. It promised, free DLC, no season passes, and like tons of work going into the actual game itself.
Yeah.
And what we actually got was a lot of microtransactions, loot boxes, pink Vaders, and a whole host of other problems.
What are you going to do?
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do.
What are you gonna do?
We're going to give this game an award. And when I say we, I mean the Guinness World Book of Records people. They've given Star Wars Battlefront 2 an award. Now, what would you guess that it's for?
Having not read your notes, I guess that it's for excellent gameplay.
Well, you couldn't be more off base because they have won an award. They now hold the record for the most downvoted Reddit comment ever.
Oh, you know what? I think I'd be quite proud of that if that was mine. Like, you have to do something wrong to get downvoted that much on Reddit. There's always someone there be like, oh, it's all right.
Apparently, so they absolutely bungled this because it all began with Reddit user MBB Maverick, who started the thread with the opener, seriously, I paid $80 to have Vader locked. And what it was detailing all of the fact that basically all of the heroes in the game, you had to spend loads of money to unlock, or you could get very lucky and buy them in a loot box and they would suddenly be like unlocked for you with a super special upgrade. And it's like, oh, literally pay to win definition. And then what happened is that the EA community team decided, no, that's our good name that you're wiping your ass with. Let's fight back. And they put out this comment. The intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. As a cost, we selected initial values based on data from the open beta and other adjustments to make milestone rewards before launch. Among other things, we're looking at an average per player credit earn rates on a daily basis and will be making constant adjustments to ensure that players have challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and of course, attainable via gameplay.
That's my instant response, is just those noises, because initially, we want them to have a sense of pride and achievement for getting our players. Okay, let's spend a load of money buying them then. Oh, good. That's a great way of doing it. I feel so proud of myself for buying out.
I love the fact that there was different tiers for heroes. Like you would actually get ones that just had like slightly better abilities. Or you'd have like, have you got this like thermal grenade? Have you got the thermal grenade pro that does extra damage? It's like, oh, thanks,
good
dude.
Yeah, wonderful.
But they also followed that up with saying, we appreciate the candid feedback, which couldn't sound even like any less smarmy, could it? And the passion the community has put forth around the current topics here on Reddit, our forums, and across numerous social media outlets. Our team will continue to make changes and monitor community feedback and update everyone as soon and as often as we can. Signed, the devil himself. But no, do you want to know how many downvotes this has got?
Ooh, okay, for a Guinness World Record.
Yeah, you got to guess.
Is it in the millions?
No.
Okay, then I'm going to guess 832,000.
You did overestimate it, but it's still impressive. It's minus 667,825 downvotes.
The number of the beast himself, almost.
Ooh, very, very true. But yeah, so there we go. It's now a record holder, but this is the thing. If you go back to Battlefront 2 now, they've done a lot of work to it. And I will, yes, I'll slag off of the whole way that they've approached things, but as a game, there's still a lot to enjoy there. So if you're still playing that, I ain't slagging off the game fully. I'm just saying, game, microtransactions need to be separated. Unfortunately, you can't have
I think I had like one blast through it. I had one blast through it. It was like, yeah, Star Wars, good. Next. Like, that was my whole experience of the game.
This is
not my problem.
Not my problem, Shuffle.
Sounds like a you problem.
Go on then, take the news somewhere else, to another galaxy far, far away. Where are we going?
I forgot what order we're going to do this in. Right, let's go.
I literally set you up. This is an alley-oop. An alley-oop.
Oh, an alley-oop.
Come on, get there.
The rim. I jump. The ball goes in. Slam dunk, baby. It's NBA 2K20. I get asked that every day.
Jesus Christ. Carry on.
Oh, thank you for the candid feedback. Now we're going to move on to NBA 2K20 because that has been review bombed to death. It's had an absolute, I don't know many more basketball words. It's had an absolute dribbling on it.
That will work. I'll let you have that one.
It's been.
You could say it's had his backboard smashed in.
Yes, it absolutely has. And it came out last week on the 6th of September, as you all probably know from seeing every news piece being like, oh my god, it's terrible. Yeah. And everyone has been reviewing it, and they're not happy with it because of microtransactions. So as we've heard with EA, NBA have made the same mistake. 2K are doing the same thing again, getting out loads of microtransactions, and apparently it's not even that much different from NBA 2K19. They're even using the same NBA 2K19 logo on PC. They're actually they missed that. So
really?
Yes, it still comes up as NBA 2K19 if you have it on PC.
Oh, that is such a basic oversight with the amount of money that they're doing. Like, I've been rallying against any sort of franchise game like this because of the fact that the more of them that come out, the more homogenous the product feels, because they've written themselves into a corner. I mentioned this on the podcast we did yesterday, which you should totally check out, by the way.
Yes, lovely podcast channel.
I basically said that when you've got licenses that you need paying, and the hundreds of millions like FIFA and the NBA and NFL and whatever, what happens is that you have to create sort of systems to make sure that you can afford to pay all of these, because those licenses only ever go up the more that you become reliant on them. So what you're really doing is you're not improving your gameplay, you're literally just improving the systems in which to get money out of players, which is just horrible. There
was a whole thing about the advertising, just playing like basically a casino advert, because it was so heavily reliant on microtransactions.
They actually took it down because it got completely like review bombed itself effectively.
So like they've basically brought it upon themselves. This is the third year in a row NBA has had absolutely abysmal reviews. The last one that got even a marginal bit of praise was NBA 2K17. So.
And yet, I bet you anything it'll be still one of the best-selling games of the year.
Of course it will, because it's a big name brand, a big name brand. And the developers have been tweeting saying, although many of the issues seen during the first couple of days after launch have been fixed, we do understand that there are still issues that need to be resolved. We can assure you that our dev team is working around the clock to prepare a soon-to-be-released patch that will address other significant issues. So, if you have PC, it will now say NBA 2K20. Presumably.
Well, there we go.
Exciting.
Well, let's use another basketball metaphor and do some traveling, which is actually a little bit illegal in the game. And go
traveling?
It's where you carry the ball and you run with it. Anyway.
Handball.
Yep. And let's talk about Disney ditching Foxnet. Now, do you know what Foxnet is?
I've never heard of Foxnet.
That's absolutely fine, because it allows me to segue straight into explaining what it is.
Yes, please.
So basically, last year, Disney bought a load of assets from Fox, 21st Century Fox, and that included Foxnet, which was a subsection of that company that was detailing VR experiences and gameplay development. They had one really successful game that's Marvel Strike Force, which has made $150 million in its first year alone. It had its anniversary in March this year. I'm pretty sure. Like, that's a lot of money from like a mobile game. But apparently, Disney are not fussed about it, because they just said, nah, we're selling it. We're selling Foxnet. We don't want anything to do with it.
That's ludicrous.
Their CEO Bob Iger, he's basically just said, like, we don't want anything to do with the games production market at all. And it's really weird, because when you look back in I don't know about your childhood, but mine was definitely raised on video games. And like The Lion King and Aladdin were like two of the best games that they ever did. And they did Mickey Mouse, Castle of Illusion.
Yeah, I was going to say Treasure Planet, a Disney one, because I've bashed on about that a lot. I always get confused with the animations, so I want to get it wrong. But yeah, Treasure Planet was amazing. Aladdin and Lion King, absolute staples of the genre, though.
But
either way.
So they clearly could do it, but then they just decided, actually, no, technically they were Capcom games. They did actually license them out. This is the thing.
Well,
they've clearly just not wanted to be. They've not had any interest in it, and they acquired LucasArts recently as well, and they've licensed out the the Star Wars franchise to EA, as we've just said. Not doing a great job with that there. Maybe, I think it's just because they've seen a massive decline in the sort of like toys to video games market, because they used to do tie-ins for all of their films and video games, and now they've just been like, there's just not enough return coming back from it. And to be honest, I'm kind of grateful that we don't have as much shovelware like that coming out. But yeah, so they've decided to close the doors on that. They closed the doors on Avalanche Software and Disney Infinity back in 2016. And they've just said this, which is Bob Iger saying, we've just decided that the best place for us to be in that space is licensing and not publishing. So yeah,
That's interesting. It makes you think they must be up to some serious stuff with the film world if that's what they're doing instead of everything else. But then I guess they've got theme parks, they've got stores, they've got everything, and it's all got the Disney branding on it. So they're making the right decisions.
But I would have
weird.
But I would have thought that for them, like to be seen as a big presence in any market is a good thing for Disney.
Yeah.
Like they've got so much money and weight to throw around that it's probably better for them. In the case of Star Wars, especially, it would do a massive service to the fans if they made an effort to say, look, you know what, we're not going to license this out to people who we feel are not going to do a good job, so let's take it back and then do our own version of it. I reckon that you get a lot more hype of...
it's true, but they're still earning all their money, aren't they, from like whether it's...
They are.
That's what it matters to them.
I mean, as much as we hate to say it, like Star Wars Battlefront 2 sold, like it did make money, and they have made loads of money off of other things as well they've done. But it's strange that they'd be selling something that's making them $150. $150? Yeah, $150 would probably be all right. But yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So there we go. That's been the strange world of gaming news this Thursday.
We're just leaving that last one then?
Well, that's the gaming news. This is relating to the politics.
The politics of gaming news.
Yeah. Well, speaking about selling off futures, why don't you talk about this one?
Oh, you prepared that segue in advance.
I did.
Right, but this one, basically, it's another, again, more microtransaction and loot box stuff. Because the UK's government have now gotten on the bandwagon with saying, oh, actually, maybe this is a problem. And they've had a digital culture, media and sport committee report that came back on Thursday and have said, basically, in-game spending should be regulated by gambling laws, and of saying that there should be at least age verification processes on things.
Totally agree with that.
So that people aren't going on an honesty policy and saying, oh, I'm 18 when they're actually 13, signing up and spending all of their money. So one of the MPs who is for this sort of thing has said, a gaming disorder based on excessive and addictive gameplay has been recognised by the World Health Organization. It's time for game companies to use the huge quantities of data they gather about their players to do more to proactively identify vulnerable gamers.
I think that makes perfect sense. I mean, like, you basically sign your life away on some of these games now. You give away all of your information so that they can spam you with marketing deals and stuff like that. Like, they at least could do something to say, hey, look, we're going to take care of the audience that we're so willing to exploit. It's interesting as well to see that the MPs discussing this while our parliament literally melts down and flames around us. So getting one last jab in before they decide to absolutely bungle our country.
They're trying all sorts of moments, but yeah, basically the crux of it is that they think that it should be basically adhering to gambling laws more than anything else, and that young children who would be caught up in all this sort of thing and exploited for all of their money, like people are spending like $3,000 a month on ridiculous stuff, are going to be safeguarded from that kind of lifestyle.
I think that's the most responsible thing I've probably seen in a while. Plus, it could lead to a sort of roll-on effect, because if you have a country like ourselves that are saying, like, look, it is gambling in all but name, it needs to follow the same laws as gambling, then that might help push through other things in other countries where we get used as a reference, going like, hey, look, that crazy old country Britain who wants to split off from everyone else has decided to do at least one thing, right, which is try and protect people from gambling laws.
There's a few of the, just to finish up, there's a few other ones. There's a US senator who's called for them to be banned. Belgium has ruled they're in violation of gambling laws. China have restricted the number of loot boxes players can open each day, and Sweden are also investigating. So it's a worldwide phenomenon at the moment.
See, that the China one is actually a really like sensible way to start things going. Just being like, look, there's a cap on how many you can buy each day.
3 a day or something.
That actually makes a lot of sense. But there we go. So that's been the crazy news on this Thursday morning. We hope that you enjoyed this, and please let us know down below what your thoughts about any of these subjects might be. We're about to go and take a much needed break from news. A 1 day break.
Yes.
And then back on Monday on the main channel. But yes.
3 days?
Huh? 3 day break. Oh, sorry, I got really confused then. I was like, how do weekends work? Jesus Christ, I'm tired. Anyway, you can go follow myself at RetroJ with a 0 over on Twitter, and
at Ash Millman.
Hope you have a fantastic day, whatever you get up to, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.